Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
How are you doing this evening?
I am well, and yourself?
I'm doing really good.
How was your
Really,
day
really
today?
good. Really good.
How was your day today?
My day was really well, actually. Working, have a breakthrough at work of an aha moment. So I had a huge aha moment for myself today,
Mm.
um, which was really, really good. And plus, we're going to talk about things that are exciting today. So that was also exciting as well to be able to have a conversation um, about what's going on in our lives and world. So let's go ahead and welcome everybody in. Hello, everyone. You are experiencing the Gold Sisters Network presents Think About It Thursday with myself. My name is Tasha. I am a business strategist, productivity coach, and I help small business owners that are overwhelmed and overworked with juggling multiple tasks, scale their business with ease so they can be overjoyed instead of overwhelmed. So, product and efficiency. That's what I do. And we have.
And I am Gail Sanders, your real estate ace, your winning strategy to buying, selling, and or investing in real estate. I'm the owner of Aces Realty Group, and of course, I am so excited to be a part of the Gold Sisters Network. And if you know somebody that's not a part of the Gold Sisters Network right now, go ahead and invite them so you can share, so they can be a part of this discussion with us. And feel free to chime in. And I look forward to this discussion.
Yes, 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 yes. And I'm also the founder of the Ghost Sisters Network, and Gail is basically the co-founder of which means well, you'll see us tag team
She
different
dragged
things.
me in, y'all. She dragged me in. I'm just kidding.
And there's a huge entire network of other women that I'm closely connected to. And the Gold Sisters Network, if you're watching this, in the Gold Sisters Network is a community of women that empower women to be empowered. We encourage each other and support each other financially, spiritually, whatever the need is. You can find a sister that you can connect with, become accountable with, and live life through together. We all need some type of partner, and that is what the Gold Sister Network is. It's a community of diverse, empowered women. So let's go ahead and jump into our topic tonight of Think About It Thursday. Gail, you want to kick us off?
Well, tonight our topic is about overextending your stay. Overextending your stay. What do you think about when you think about that, Taj? What does that mean to you?
My first thought of overextending the stay was when I was pregnant with Amir. He was supposed to be due January 29th. He did not come until February 10th. I was big, swollen, huge, angry, and he had to get evicted. And right before they were going to induce me, I actually went into labor. So he was almost 2 weeks overdue. That's my first initial thought um, when we thought about the topic. But the more relevant one that I feel is things or ideas that I hold on to that I should either make a move on, but I haven't made a move on them for whatever reason it may be. So that thought is staying in my mind. I look miserable and angry with the nurses. Yes, yes, that must be my mom. I can't see the name on it, but that must be my mom. But she knows. She knows. But the second thing that comes to mind is just those things, those gifts, those things that I need to birth, but I haven't birthed yet. So it kind of goes back to Amir, right? Staying longer than he needs to stay. That I
Mhm.
haven't quite let go of that I need to. So it's overextended. It's taking its time, and now it's stretching me in areas that I wasn't quite meant to stretch in because it only was supposed to be for a certain season, a certain time.
So,
What
what
about
did that feel like? What did that feel like when you had a mirror inside of you a whole extra 2 months? What was the physical? What did it feel like physically for you?
it was painful. It
Mm.
was I'll say it was painful because it was uneasy. There was a part of me that was stretching, like my skin actually stretched to the point where that's what caused the pain. It was a burning, right? So it wasn't the pressure of the thing of him being inside me. It was the stretching of my skin that was the burning and the uncomfortable piece, which kind of, if I talk back about the things and the gifts that we have in that I have in me, it's not painful, right? It's not a ouch. It's more like a burning sensation, a mental drain that takes
Mhm.
place. That takes place when I don't let go or move on for things.
Exactly.
Right.
I've had that experience with this particular job, actually, that I was in before I got into real estate. I was working in a doctor's office, and if anybody knows me about 2 years with anything, I'm bored. I'm ready to go on to the next thing. I'm ready to give birth to something else. I'm just ready to do something new. And it got to a point where I was just like you were physically, mentally, and spiritually. I was in pain. I was experiencing so much pressure. I just wanted to get out. Let me out of here. And as soon as I let that job go, I was able to get my real estate license. Whoever thought I would ever be able to have a real estate license? I talked myself out of it so many times, but it allowed me to give birth to something that was deep down inside of me that I wanted to do. So, and here I am today. I love real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You sold
love
me
it.
my home, right?
Yes, yes, new construction and everything. So,
Right. Right.
and we got a 3-year anniversary coming up, girl.
Yeah. All right. So the reason why we chose the topic of um overextended stay, what are you carrying that you need to deliver? Right. I think let's throw around a couple maybe ideas to help the audience or people that are looking kind of put two and two together, because I know we have a bigger picture from our conversation that we had, what it really means to us. But if we can give some examples to the people that are watching so that they can connect and see why we chose the topic and things like that.
Okay. Um, I'll use the obvious. Just a couple, and it could be a relationship. You can be in a relationship too long. You can be in a relationship that you're experiencing some type of, for lack of a better way of putting it, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse, and you don't recognize that that's what's going on because you've been in it so long. You've over it. That relationship is overextended period of time. It's time to go. The other thing I think about, the first thing that I think about really was coronavirus has overextended its stay. It needs to go. Okay, I'm through being dramatic.
I say that sleeping on your gifts,
Mm,
right? Like, I think that there's so many awesome people, great ideas, great thoughts, not knowing how to execute on them. I think that there's a gift, there's a thought, there's an idea that is just harboring in your mind. God gave it to you. You haven't birthed it yet. You go to sleep thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it. When you go clock into work, I have a full-time job and a business, so I'm not knocking 9 to 5s at all. But there's just sometimes your 9 to 5 can't give you the fulfillment or the passion that God has actually put in you. You can't get that fulfillment, but you think about it all the time. So I think that that's one of the things, one of an example I could use of you're carrying all of this gift, all
mm,
of this greatness that God has given you, and you should have delivered it a long time ago. So instead, every day you're living in what if mode
yeah.
because you didn't let it go. Kind of like Amazon driving around with your package and you get the notification that it's out for delivery, and then it said by 10 p.m. and it'll never come, and you keep
Mm,
looking for it. Like, that's
ooh,
your gifts, and I feel
ooh,
like that's God looking in on us on our gifts of it's out for delivery because I already gave it to you, and it
ooh,
can't get delivered because you choosing not to.
ooh, that's
So
good. That's
that's
good.
one
That's
that I would
good.
use for that.
That is really, really good. That's really good. Good analogy. Good analogy. I love it.
You got any others? Anybody in the comments? I see a couple people in the comments. Thank
I
you
think
for joining.
I think ministry. You know, we are familiar with somebody recently who has slept on her gift. She'll be listening if she's not listening already. She'll be listening later, but um, a lot of times people see our gifts inside of us before we see it in ourselves and we don't act on it. But then when we act on it and it's delivered, it's like such a freeing experience. So ministry, and I can as many ministers and pastors that I know personally, they've all ran away from their gift. It's been in them for so long, but when things finally came to fruition for them, and they finally accepted that, you know, this is really the path that God wants me on, and stepping out on faith, and that baby was delivered. It's been such a great experience and freeing experience. So get out the delivery room. I mean, just go ahead and deliver, right?
Right. I mean, if you think about like we were talking before, like the womb, right? It grows to a certain size,
Mm,
right? It grows as the baby grows, it grows with you, right? And then your stomach grows as everything grows together, and then the release happens and it snatches back. Well, for some
mm,
people. It ain't snatched back from me, but like it's it comes in and
yeah.
it snatched back like the body. And I just think that that's how God gives us ideas and things like that. He gives us things to birth, to put out into the world. And once we put it out, it kind of snatches back so that we can keep on delivering, keep on getting
Mhm,
everything that he gets us out.
mhm,
And so that's the kind of thing that I kind of think about when we chose that topic of I had another analogy that I wanted to talk about too, and it just escaped me. I think it had to be about sometimes task, right? You are awesome at doing a specific thing. You're great
mm,
at doing so many things, maybe a jack of all trades, a Jane of all trades. You can do everything. And people put you in places and expect you to do those things. You're the go-to person for those things. But you've outgrown them, right? You no longer want to do them, but you keep doing them because of the expectation that others have put on you because you have that skill set. And I think even in those things, you have to be delivered from. You have to deliver that responsibility from what others' expectations are in order for you to walk into a new season of your life. And sometimes people don't respect, right? That you no longer are the go-to person for this because God has given you something else.
right.
And you can no longer be their crutch or
Mhm,
their go-to person. Maybe not even a crutch, but their go-to person. But
mhm,
what you don't realize is that as you're carrying and harboring all these gifts that they may be benefiting from, you are also preventing them from walking into their gifts because it's
mhm,
probably they need you to do it because it's something that they need to do for themselves.
mhm.
So
Yeah, and even in that, though, there's those growing pains, just like we mentioned earlier. Those growing pains are going to come because when it is your time to go, when it's really time to be delivered, whatever. When how do I say this? When God says it's time, no matter what's going on, He's going to make it. The time is going to come, right?
mhm.
You're going to get to a place where things are going to start happening, and it's going to become not necessarily painful, but it's going to become, um, you're not going to be able to focus on the past and those things that are keeping you stifled, but it's going to drive you to be able to effectively deliver your baby, whatever that baby might be. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. That's good. I just want to shout out some people. So Veronica says, that's good, ladies, with some hand claps. And then Vanity gives said 100. And Maceo said, good evening. Thanks everyone for commenting.
Hey,
I'm going to try
y'all.
to watch both as we're talking. If you have something that you want to share or comment about or start a conversation about, please put it in the comments so that we can speak and talk on those things. This really is just two girlfriends sitting here chit-chatting, and we had a previous conversation. We're like, maybe we should have this conversation with other people. It would be helpful. Gail, you got some other things?
So what is I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are some signs from a mental and spiritual place that we might encounter when we've extended our say? What does that look like?
That's a good question. And so for me, what that looks like is frustration.
Hmm.
For me, that looks like headaches.
Hmm.
For me, that looks like a whole bunch of chocolate. For real.
Well, thank you for being honest.
Um, because that's my coping. That's how I cope.
Hmm.
Um, I'm now starting to change that, though, I would say, of outgrowing. It's been a lot lately talking to myself, like being my own cheerleader, pumping myself up, because those growing pains, they hurt, but they're necessary, right? And
Hmm.
so, in the post that I shared today about the conversation tonight, I had put that yesterday I felt defeated, but I woke up victorious today. And it's just amazing how things can shift overnight, right? But it was a perspective and a mindset shift of actually having to accept there's certain things, like you're saying, that you're carrying that you no longer need to carry. You need to deliver it, because not every situation that comes to you is for you to fix. Sometimes every situation that comes to you could be for you to listen but not respond. Sometimes it is for you to respond, or sometimes it's for you to recognize, to thank God, I'm not there anymore. Right. So when I woke up this morning with a different mindset, I was very, very excited, because I'm like, dang, that's growth. It frustrated you, but to wake up the next day and not let that same thing bog you down, um, that's growth. And you gotta acknowledge your growth. If you're not acknowledging your growth, sis, I don't know what you're doing. You're never moving forward, right? That
I agree. You're
that
right.
moment when you don't cuss somebody out and you walk away instead, you gotta do a happy dance to celebrate. That's growth.
Right. Right. I agree.
And
I agree.
some people just gotta get cussed out sometimes, but
Sometimes nice, nasty, cuss out, right? But I agree. I agree with all of that. Mine's not so much chocolate, it's cookies, but but definitely the frustration for me. The frustration kind of takes over, and the frustration turns into anger, and the anger turns into I'm crying about it because I feel like I can't do anything about it.
mm,
Not I'm crying because I'm sad, but I'm crying because I really want to do something about it and I don't necessarily know what. But just like you said, you felt defeated and you woke up victorious this morning. Very much how I was feeling yesterday. And I woke up this morning, um, and I just began to ask God, some things about a particular situation. And God asked me some questions. Did I
mm,
like those questions?
mm,
No, but they were enlightenment moments that helped me grow.
mm.
We're
His
not going to
answer was a
always like
question.
God's answer because God is
Mm,
going to, for lack of a better way of putting it, He's going to coach you in the right direction. He may use somebody you know. He may speak audibly to you. He may use something that you read or something that you see on TV. But even in him asking me those questions and making me really think about these particular relationships, what I was talking about earlier, um, he used Tosh. She doesn't know it, but I had also asked God to show me a strategy about how to deal with this particular situation. And she didn't know it, but she said, just act like it's a business. You handle your business in your business.
mm,
Treat the situation like it's a business. That was God using her to give me a strategy. So I'm not only saying that you need to ask God for things, but you also need to have people around you that are in tune with our Heavenly Father that will bring things to the light and not even know that they brought things to the light. So I just thank God for my sis.
Yeah, thank you. I thank God for you. Yes to the comments. Y'all don't know. I'm like sitting here holding my hands and so excited because people joined and they're commenting. Yes, let's see. Let me see. Veronica says, yes, thanks, ladies. Confirmation. Hashtag confirmation. Yes, ma'am. Cherie says, yes. Veronica gave us claps and smiley cry faces. So yes, 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 yes for all of that. I wanted to add to when you just said, and Crystal said yes. Go ahead. Yes. The ratchet, yes. I think that was the ratchet. Um, so what came to me when you were saying that was assignment, right? So we always get opportunities that we feel like, okay, that's what we're supposed to do. And I always say something when I'm coaching my clients is qualifying the thoughts or qualifying your ideas. We have to qualify the assignment as well to make sure that it's actually a God-given assignment and we're just not taking up things for pity.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's somebody has a need, it doesn't mean that you're aware of the situation, that you're the one that's supposed to feel the need.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself sometimes carrying that as well. I carry the things from other people, right? Because I'm connected to them. And my first thought is that I'm supposed to help them. Well, you know me pretty well. My mind just kind of,
That's where
somebody
you
say a
are.
problem, I'll be like, wait, you said 1, 2, 3? Okay, here go 4, 5, 6. Like my mind just automatically goes. And not everybody wants that. I mean, the people that connect me, they kind of know I flow that way. I go with my flow. I'm not gonna stop that for nobody. But just because I flow that way, it doesn't have to become mine to see it through.
Right.
So when you were talking about what you just said, I hear this from somebody for somebody is that you took on the assignment, but did you ask God for the deadline?
Mm.
When was your due date?
Oh, oh, ouch. Oh, ouch, Tosh. Tosh,
I
ouch.
don't know who that was for. It probably was for me. But he said, you took on the assignment, but did you ask for the deadline or the due date? And
Mm.
what's been very amazing to me is that I've been giving new opportunities, connecting with new awesome people. And some of the old things that I used to do, I no longer have the capacity to do it.
Mm.
And it
Mm.
could be small to the people that are looking on the outside, but in the inside, the mental space that it takes up, I don't have capacity to do it because I care too much for it. It could be a
Mm.
15-minute task, but guess what? It's the 4-day thought,
Because of who you are. Yeah.
right? Because that's how I flow. So,
Mm-hmm.
in order to give myself more grace and more capacity to get the things done and stop carrying the weight of everybody else, because
Mm.
everything is not a Taj got to do thing, right? It's just sometimes the Taj know how to do things.
Mm.
So, anybody that's watching, I want you guys to think about like, what is some things that you're doing that you don't have to do? There's no special thing that you're putting on it that you're doing that you can delegate so
Mm.
that you can start delivering the things that you're carrying.
Mm. That's good.
Bag lady.
Ooh,
Oh, one of my friends,
not bag lady, Tosh. Not bag lady.
man, I tell you, one of my friends, Kiki, you know her. Boy, she laid into me one night and said, Erica Badu bag lady. And I tell you, every time I think about carrying things that need to be delivered, that no longer serves me, that I need to drop off and let go, stop being an Amazon driver, doing all the TikTok challenges and drop off them people packages. There's things that I'm doing that I need to drop off so I don't pick and not pick back up. I ain't pick it back up.
Don't
So
pick it back up.
that's that some bag lady. Did you have something else?
Not that I can think of right at the moment. So we talked about how do you handle it. I think like we talked about praying and what are some other ways that we can handle it? Working out, some
Working,
positive ways that we can handle, these situations.
yeah, yeah. Working out, sessions with your friends. Like,
That was my next one.
yeah, because the Gold Sisters Network, it was birthed from me celebrating the purchase of my new home with a whole bunch of women that I was connected to, and it ended up being 20 plus women in my home, right? And we talked about different things, and that's how voila, this idea, this thought came about. Um, but also, I just see there's so much synergy when you connect with other like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the times we think we're suffering alone. Like, no, sis, you're not the only one carrying generational curses, single mom, married and still having issues, or having a relationship and having issues. You're not the same person carrying those struggles. You're not the same person carrying family issues. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. But sometimes it feels as if you are, because you're suffering alone. Because the easiest thing to do is that I ain't gonna share that with her because she's gonna look at me crazy. Right? She gonna find she gonna see me in a different light. And I know I'm always like transparent Tracy, but I feel like it's very important to know it looks all pretty, but I struggle just like you. I
Every
mismanage things just like you. My kid work my nerves no matter how great and excellent he is, just like your kid do. May not be the same way, but guess what? I be wanting to uppercut them just like you. You know, it could be the small, it could be the, it's just, we're so much more alike than we are different.
mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think
Absolutely.
having more discussions and more sessions with your friends, but also holding your friends accountable.
We tend to do that well. Because
Yes, like lack of love.
Taj and I have a love-hate relationship. Okay. Some days I love her, and some days I can't stand her.
Heavy on the can't stand, right? Like heavy on the text message, let me put it down. Or heavy
Mm.
on the hey, this, but I love you though, in the call, right? But I think that's important in order to for your friend to kind of tell you, you know, for your I'm loving the combo. Yeah, sure. But yeah, so but you have to have that, right? I think sometimes as mature women, we get mad so fast that we cut it off. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
saying that there's not relationship that you just got to cut off. There's some people that you be like cut.
Yeah.
But there's other relationships that mean so much more to you than the issue that you cut them off for. Like if
Mhm.
you both were mature and to be like, I mean, sis, you keep making the same stupid choice. Like my friends really come to me for the roughness. My sister's on here, I think. She knows. I love her dearly. But when she wants it real raw, I'm the real raw one. And my real rawness is out of love, but it's for the simple fact is you're gonna make a decision or you're gonna keep going through it. No
Mhm.
matter where you're at in your journey, I'm gonna love you regardless. But baby, we don't gotta keep talking about
So true. That is so true, y'all. That is so true. Anybody
it.
else want to comment on that? Put something in the comments.
Okay. Oh, my mom said yes, ma'am. Even her. Even because she knows that, I mean, you have to pick up on the signs of the people that you're with, right? So with me and my mom, we know a end of the telephone call, not the normal end of a telephone call, is like, I wasn't feeling that, right? But we can pick back up like 2 hours later, and that end
Mhm.
of the it didn't even matter,
Right.
right? Because that was our reality check for each other to say, I ain't feeling you, or that hurt. But there's
Mhm.
no sensitivity as in, I don't gotta talk to you no more.
Right.
And you have to learn to find people that you're connected to that can love you and not like you at the same time, right? Because I don't know how many times I tell you, I don't like you right now. Like I just don't like
Vice
you.
versa.
But it's that reality check that's real to be like, what is you, pop, what are you doing,
Yeah.
right? And
Definitely.
I think so. I said something earlier, like when I was talking about my sister of decisions and not making decisions and things like that. It's not specifically to her, but just the type of conversations that we have. But it's also in that it's okay to revisit something in your journey, every other month or every couple weeks, right? But it's not okay to keep revisiting your journey every day. Like revisiting the same pain every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's the growth in that?
Yeah.
But yeah, you go a couple weeks or you go a month and you backslide and you fall back in that place. That's where your sisters come around to be able to be like, let me pick her up. But don't know anybody be in nobody's circle that you crying every day about the same thing.
That's true. That's true. And I think we talked about this before in one of our previous discussions. Um, I was in a place a long time ago where something had happened to me, and I wouldn't tell anybody or talk about it or anything. But I had gotten to a place where I could revisit it, but the only way I would allow it to come out of my mouth is if I was encouraging it for somebody, not come from a place of sorrow, from a place of complaining, not from a place of pity or anything like that. But the only reason I would revisit it is if I'm telling my testimony to someone else or I'm encouraging for someone else. So it also has to be a mind shift in that as well.
That's
So you
good.
can revisit it, but it's how are you revisiting it? Are you
Very good.
revisiting it to complain about it? Are you revisiting it just because you just want something to talk about? What are you revisiting it for?
Yeah,
Revisit it to be able to help somebody else.
that's good. That's real good. That's real good. Let's see. Shay says, how do you love somebody but not like them? Okay. So you love somebody but not liking them, meaning that you're not liking the conversation, you're not liking them at that moment. It doesn't make they don't make you feel good at that time. So you're really just not dealing with them. You're not that's what not liking them is to me. I don't like the conversation we just had. I don't like your attitude towards me in that moment. I still love you because who you are in that moment is not what you are at your core. But
Exactly.
I still love you because I know who you are at your core.
Right.
That's what I'm
Not just
getting
that at your core, but you are who God made you, right?
at.
We are all who God created us to be. So at our core, we're these amazing, beautiful, and since we're all ladies here, we're powerful, phenomenal women, right? That we all have flaws. But just to Taj's point, I'm gonna use my daughter because she's sitting right here, right? I love her. She's my daughter. I want the best for her, nothing but the best for her. But sometimes I can't stand her. And she can't stand me because of those same reasons. That doesn't mean that I have any ill will toward her. That doesn't mean I don't like her. I just don't like the things that she's doing, the things that she might be saying, the way that she might be acting. That doesn't mean I don't love her. I just don't like her and her ways at that moment in time.
Yes. So I'm missing the comments. Next time I'll put the restream link so we can see everything in restream. But Crystal said alignment is everything. So I think she's answering when you were asking what are some other healthy ways to deal with being uncomfortable. She said journaling, and you beat me to it, accountability. And
Mhm.
then let's see, Sharice said, absolutely. I only want friends who would love me always but don't like me sometimes because I know they'll tell me the truth.
Ain't that right? That's
Right?
right.
That's exactly what we meant. And she said, when someone is getting on your nerves really bad and you don't want to talk to them, but it doesn't mean you don't love them. Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's most relationship like conversations that I have like with older people. Like, I'm not gonna be disrespectful,
But
but
I
I
am
would I,
hear
I
you.
got this, oh, I'm gonna call you back. You're so strong. Like I might get on the phone and talk to another person, be like, she's crazy. She's crazy. I would never have that conversation with them, right? But it's just
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna have to go a couple of days without talking to them because I'm gonna say something that ain't, because the things that you could say could be very damaging,
Mhm.
right? You know your own strength. And I think that's important in friendships. You know what's your own strength, just like you know what will break your friend. So that your delivery has to go with what your strength is and
Right.
what's not going to break your friend or break the person you're connected to, but what's going to uplift them and encourage them because they're probably coming to you because they've been beat down by everybody else.
Right. Good point. It's very
Yeah.
true. Very, very
Yeah.
true. Very,
Yeah.
very true.
Let's see. Do y'all have some other things that we should talk about? Gail and I could talk all night. We talk probably every day, all night, but we don't want to keep this long and overdue. Are there some other things, or Gail, did you have some other things that you want to?
No, I just want to encourage everybody to really evaluate, I guess, or identify some things that you might be experiencing that could be the sign of labor pains. Because when you do that, oh boy, the heavens open up. And I'm speaking from experience of my own, as well as some other people who I know. When she recently, let some things go, and the bottom fell out in a great way for her because she let those things go. So,
Tell you.
so experience, I'm speaking from experience, let it go so you can deliver the baby that's been inside of you a long time, a whole lot longer than its due date.
Yes, you're right. I think to say off of that is that the decision that you need to make, it's tough.
Mhm.
So I feel that there's somebody on this, even myself sometimes, there's decisions that need to be made that are tough, but that decision could be your breakthrough. And what do you have to lose if you've already lost while you're just going through every day? So sometimes the decision that you need to make is usually always the decision that's going to benefit you. But because you are so controlling
Hmm.
and you can't see the outcome, you don't know how it's going to happen, you choose not to make the decision.
And it's a step of faith. We talked about that too. Like I tell y'all, Taj and I can go on that on this, but we talked about that as well. Um, and I think I used the example of Abraham in the Bible. God said, "Go to the land of milk and honey that I will show you. Go to where I will show you." He didn't know where he was going. Abraham just followed God's instructions and went. So we have to make a decision to trust that what God has inside of us, it is God, one, not ourselves, and be able to act on faith and move. Like I'm talking to myself too. I'll be the first to tell you.
That's the thing. I think that's the important thing is that one thing I love about conversations that we have is that you'll never hear me speak on something I haven't experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I think many people speak on things that they haven't experienced, so they can't have an understanding or have an encouraging word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking at things and just giving your advice from the outside looking in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to look at the inside or in order to speak to things.
Right.
So if you haven't dealt with it or you haven't experienced, yes, you can give an opinion or a suggestion, but you have to be careful as well as when you're doing that, that
Sorry.
you're not discouraging another person, right? Through that. So
Right.
I think that's extremely, extremely important as well,
I'm
just to
here,
make
y'all.
light.
I don't know what happened. Hold on. Go ahead, Taj.
Oh
Keep
yeah.
talking.
So it's that's an important thing too. So anybody that's watching tonight, I want to encourage you guys to join us when we come back on. We're gonna make this, we don't know how frequent of a Thursday. Gail is my pusher. Push her. That's exactly what she did. She pushed me into certain things in which I do the same for her. But we don't know how often that Think About It Thursdays will be. We already have a topic for the next one, which I think will be really, really good for us to touch base on. But stay connected to us. If you're not in the Gold Sisters Network group, we're there. You may join and see there's not much activity, but we're trying to get it going. Being business owners, she's a business owner, and I have a full-time job as well. Sometimes we're not able to do things as consistently as we would like, but upcoming this Sunday, we have prayer. Let's pray about it, sis, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's the one thing that is consistent. It's about 15 to 30 minutes. We have a devotional and we pray. And then next Tuesday coming up, we're starting our series of Gold Talk, where we'll be interviewing entrepreneurs, women Boss Women, and we'll be interviewing Robin Kendrick, who is the beauty rebel. She is the CEO of that brand, and we'll be talking to her about some different things that she has going on and just being a boss and what her brand means. So, Gail, do you have any other closing remarks?
I just want you guys to invite. The more women that we can get into this group, and we can come together and be just be each other's shoulders, because I think in our community that's what we lack, right? So let's be each other's, confidants, shoulders. No judgment. There's no judgment in this group. It's not allowed. Taj and I are not judgy. We expect everybody else not to be judgy. We are open and transparent about everything. So invite some women who need this, because there are so many women out there that don't have this. So invite them to the group. Invite others to the group, just in general.
Yes. So you guys have an awesome night. Hopefully you'll join us on Sunday for Let's Pray About It, sis. And if you can't make it, there's always a replay. And join us on Tuesday for our first interview of Gold Talk Tuesday with the Beauty Rebel. You guys have a great and awesome night. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you joining us. See you next time.